what's going on, everybody? This is Retro J with Retroception, and today I am bringing you a review for Anbernic's latest creation. This is the RG476H. This is a premium modern design, and it is centered around this beautiful, spectacular, retro-friendly 4x3 screen. And with this here, what we need to decide with this review is if the premium experience and this perfect 4x3 screen is enough to justify not only the price, but also the fact that it is packing the familiar T820 chipset. And that's a chipset that we have seen in 4 or 5 other Anbernic devices. So you know what? Let's go ahead and break it down. Now, when you pick up this device here, what you're going to feel immediately is that it feels nice and premium. Yes, it is plastic, but you do have a full glass front panel, which means the bezels are going to be very minimal. Obviously is going to be a bit of a fingerprint magnet, which is why you should, always have a good microfiber, which is why you should have a good microfiber cleaning cloth always on hand for you. And it's nice and compact and thin. It kind of gives you a little bit of maybe Retro Pocket 5 vibes, along with maybe a mix of Retro Pocket 2. More of the Retro Pocket 2 like square aspect or rectangle aspect. But it just has more of a modern look to it, which I really enjoy. Now the colors, they do have a black colorway. They have a indigo colorway, which is reminiscent of the GameCube. And then they have this beautiful retro colorway. And you can never go wrong with these. You better believe if there's a device that comes out that has a retro colorway, that is what's going to be in my hands if I have a choice. So absolutely beautiful. Like I said, nice and thin, not too bulky. You do have those little protrusions due to the stacked shoulder buttons. Not any like ergonomic grips on the back here, but there is a nice, like when you're holding it, you can have your index fingers right underneath the little bumps for the triggers there. So not bad at all. You can have the way I have it is I have my pinkies just right underneath the bottom of the device here. So not too bad. Now with the joysticks, we have good size Hall effect analog sticks. You're not going to have any stick drift, and it's nice precision. They're not just snapping to cardinal directions, which is always a plus. It is a D-pad centric device, so you do have that analog stick on the bottom. So it's not really the best for modern twin stick games, but honestly, the travel's not too bad between the D-pad and the stick, and also with the face buttons. It's just really not too far of a travel. I have like medium-sized hands. Now, if you've got big hands, it might be a little more uncomfortable for you. With my experience, it's not going to be the greatest for long-term gaming sessions. Your hand can tend to get a little bit crampy, but it's really not the worst. It's pretty comfortable, and the range of motion with these sticks is really nice. And the clickiness for the R3 and L3 is nice and clicky. So I can't complain about that. The D-pad, just typical, fantastic D-pad. It's excellent quality. It's large, precise. It's fantastic for your like 2D games, fighting games, platformers. And this is typical of Anbernic. Anbernic just always hits a home run with their D-pad. Not clicky. As you can see, I'm hitting all the directions here. You really can't hear a thing. You really got to listen to be able to hear any sound coming out of those. When it comes to the face buttons, again, they're very comfortable, responsive, not really getting any button sticks or anything like that. Really not too loud. Nothing like the Retroid Pocket Mini, which is just one of the clackiest devices when it comes to the face buttons. Now, the shoulder buttons, we do have stacked shoulder buttons, which are fantastic. The L2 and R2 do have a smooth texture to them. They don't have any of that bumpy feel, which can be nice. Makes it a little, when it's smooth like this, does make it a little bit easier for your fingers just to slide off, which, I mean, not terrible. Like I said, this isn't going to be the system where you're going to do a whole lot of like twin stick gaming where you're going to be using the right trigger to shoot, left trigger to aim, stuff like that. So not the worst, but when it comes to triggers, I do prefer to have like the like texture on there, so it's just not smooth and sliding off all the time. They are Hall effect analog triggers. L1 and R1, they are clicky micro switches, and typical for Anbernic when it comes to the clicky micro switch buttons on the bumpers. It's, yeah, you're always gonna have a pretty loud click when it comes to those. Not a deal breaker at all, especially whenever all the other buttons are just top notch. I'm willing to take that for what it is. We do have customizable RGB lighting effects on the joysticks, which is always a nice touch. I myself don't have them on too much. Sometimes I'll have them on if, like, say if I'm gaming around a friend or whatnot, and I'm just like, hey, I just want to show off what's kind of cool about it. Be like, hey, look at this. I can have lights around my sticks that'll match the system. Like, say I put a nice blood red on there, like, say, to match the game that I'm playing. So just a nice little modern touch there. Now, next, what we're going to move into is the absolute selling point of this device, and it is this screen. Now, this screen here, we have a 4.7-inch LTPS in-cell display. The resolution is 1280 by 960, and we do have that 120 hertz refresh rate. And what does that mean? That means we have the possibility of black frame insertion. We can use CRT beam shaders, all of those types of things that will make your retro gaming experience so much more realistic, so much more reminiscent of how it was in the old days when we had the CRT TVs, and it just makes it so much more retro feeling and brings back those memories of the old days. Now, with it being a 4:3 aspect ratio, it is just absolutely perfect. The resolution is perfect native. It's a perfect fit for your 4:3 content, and that's NES, Super NES, N64, GameCube, GameCube, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. Sorry to mix up there. I don't do a whole lot of edits with my videos. I like to get the full feel of it. So you know what? We're just gonna roll with it. And with the 4x3 content, it's going to fill the screen beautifully, and it's going to have very minimal scaling effects. The brightness on this, we are at 500 nits max brightness on this. So if we bring this fully maxed, it's, you really can't get it justice on the camera, but it's nice and bright when you want it to be at its brightest. And when you go full dim, I mean, it gets pretty dim. I mean, I've played this in bed next to my wife, and she hasn't complained about it being too bright and keeping her awake. So I'd say that's a win. So the brightness is really nice, great clarity, and that's thanks to the OCA full lamination. And the 120 hertz can tend to be overkill for retro, but when it comes to Android, it can, especially Android games, it can be very fluid. And like I said, the reason it's good for the retro games is for that black frame insertion, the retro beam shaders, and stuff like that. And honestly, if you are a stickler for the classic aspect ratio, this is the device you want to go for. It's it is just top notch. I find myself playing mostly retro games on here. I do a little bit of PS2. I've been doing a lot of Kingdom Hearts on here. And that's what we're going to get into in the next section. We are going to talk about the chip that is rocking in this device here. And in this device, we have the Unisoc T820 chipset. And that is a chip that we've seen in a few of other Anbernic devices. We've seen it in the 556, in the RG Cube. We've seen it in the 406V and the 406H. And we have also seen it in the RG Slide. So 5 devices that we have seen it in, and also this device here. So it's capable. It's a mid-range chip. It's going to be perfect for all of your retro devices. NES, Super NES, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, your PSP, PS1, Sega Genesis, Game Gear, all of that stuff, even up to PS1 is going to be perfectly fine. N64, you're going to be just fine. What we're going to run into and what's going to be tough is when we get up to like the GameCube, the Wii, stuff like that along the Nintendo line. It's going to be tough. If you do play it, don't expect to go any higher than like a 1x or a 1.5x internal resolution if you have that capability. It's demanding titles are going to require a bit more tinkering. And even after the tinkering, you may still see quite a bit of slowdown. So I would not say if you want a GameCube device, this is not the one to go with. There are better devices out there. One that is a good one to think about is the RG477M. This one here has a much more powerful chip in it. It does have inline shoulder buttons, which is its main downfall. If this device here had the stacked shoulder buttons of the 476H, it would be a win all around. It's got the same exact screen as the 476H, but the more powerful display, the more powerful chip, and then the inline shoulder buttons are the big difference. And like I said, stacked shoulder buttons on this one would be the go-to Anbernic device. But this one here is also going to be carrying a quite a bit heavier of a price tag. When it comes to, if you can find it for sales, you're probably looking no less than $250, $260, $270, probably more realistically. Now, when it comes to PlayStation 2 on this bad boy, that's going to be quite a bit more hit and miss. It's playable, but it is extremely, extremely limited. Most games, you'll have to run at a 1x native resolution. If you want to run higher demanding games, it's going to struggle and it's going to require tinkering. It's going to be trial and error, going into the settings, seeing what works. When it comes to internal resolution, I would suggest not going higher than 1.25 or 1.5 on less demanding games. Like I said, I'm playing Kingdom Hearts on this here, and when I put it in the high mode, like the high GPU mode, I can get it up to a 1.5 and no issues at all. When it comes to the systems like GameCube, PS2, you definitely want to have it in the high CPU mode. Everything else can just run on normal, but it's not going to have as much of an effect as you would think. So all in general, when it comes to GameCube and PS2, this is not a device to get if those are the systems that you want to play. If those are the systems you want to play, aim for that 477M, but do remember that it has the inline shoulder buttons. So games like PS2, you're going to be reaching in to get the L2 and R2. So just keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to this chip here, again, you just want to keep in mind it is a high-end retro chip. Like I said, it's going to focus on your retro devices. Don't expect to be able to upscale your PS2 and your GameCube to those 2x resolution, 2.5, 3x resolution. It's not going to be the device for it. When it comes to software, this device here, we are running Android 13. But when it comes to Android devices, you do have a bit more setup than you do when it comes to Linux devices. When you get the Android devices, you have to download all your emulators. You have to provide all your ROMs and your BIOS files, which you do on Linux devices as well. But it's a little bit more of a process with getting all of the emulators all ready to go, getting the controls set up. So a lot more setup going with the Android devices, but when you get done, it is totally worth it. With connectivity, we do have 5 gig Wi-Fi. We have Bluetooth 5.0, and it does support 1080p display port out via the USB-C connection that is right down here on the bottom. And we do have active cooling. So you have the fan back here, you have the vent up here, which is very nice, especially when you get to those, if you are trying to play any high demanding Android games for longer periods of time, you'll definitely appreciate the cooling. For the battery, we have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. And if you're playing what this system is going to be geared towards, like your retro systems, you're probably looking 6 to 8 hours of gameplay. Also depending on whether you have it on the high mode or the normal mode. And when I say high mode, normal mode, you can see right here, high mode on, I was playing Kingdom Hearts, so I had it on there, but you can, like, auto mode off, that just means it's on regular CPU mode, or high mode there. So that's what that means there. With your fan, you do have a few different options here. You can put it on stop, which will not use it at all, so it'll save some battery. Auto is what I normally leave it on. So if you have it on auto, once it gets to a certain temperature, it will kick on automatically. Then cool, strong, and then custom. You can set it how you want. It can give you a little feel. Listen to what it sounds like with it. Full blast. So not terrible. Then if we, on cool mode there, quite a bit quieter. So like I said, I turn it on auto, so it just turns on whenever it needs to. So that's always handy to have that cooling system. So I would say when it comes to scoring this device here, I mean, you're probably looking at a good 7 or 8 out of 10. When it comes to classic retro games, this is a win. Obviously, like I said numerous times, when it comes to the higher end GameCube, PS2, low end is about it. Internal resolution, upscaling, 1x, 1.5 at most. There will be some games you can try and push to maybe a 1.5. But again, if GameCube and PS2 was what you want, look for a higher end. This one here, you're looking at around a 160, 165 price. 165 is the retail. You can find some coupons, say AliExpress, and just depending on shipping and whatnot. When it first came out, they did have an early bird price. It was $15 off. You could get it for $150. You could probably find it with coupons, like I said, on AliExpress at this point, and get it for a little bit cheaper there. And you can find some free shipping on AliExpress as well. So with our remaining time here, I just want to go through here a little bit and show you a couple examples of how the system runs here. And I'll find some games that I can just get right into and not have to wait or go through a just daunting intro. But again, when it comes to NES, it's not even going to break a sweat. And again, it just runs absolutely perfect. Again, this here, I don't have any of the shaders or anything set. I just wanted to show it to you bare bones here. Those darn metal dogs, they just never want to leave me alone. Oh, and yeah, playing behind the camera is just not the greatest. So yeah, as you can see, NES, no issues at all. Now when it comes to Super Nintendo, once again, no issues whatsoever. Let's find a goodie here, an oldie but goodie. Can never go wrong with some good old Super Mario World. Again, and I mean, pretty sure with anybody, this is just one of your go-to games for Super Nintendo. And again, super smooth. I know this is just the level selection screen, but so smooth. Yeah, you cannot go wrong with any of the retro systems. And again, like you can add shaders and just completely just customize your retro feel with any of these games. Yeah, let's go into 64 here real quick. Let's find... I'm a sucker for Mario Tennis. And you'll notice too, when some of these games, I mean, some of them tend to have some graphical glitches. Like you can see right up here in the corner, there's just that one little square there that's a little bit off it, and it's not even there on every screen. We can go in here, and Yoshi is always my go-to. I just absolutely love Yoshi. Yeah, if I'm playing games with anybody else and they try to grab Yoshi, there's about to be a fight. All right, let's just do a little bit here and see if we can put a whooping on. Oh, I spoke too soon. Mario's going to put a whooping on me, evidently. I swear I am better than this at this game. I'm gonna blame it on being behind the camera. So yeah, you can all joke about how terrible I am. Y'all see, yeah, okay, there we go. So yeah, that was Nintendo 64 there, and I'm not even gonna worry about going through like all of the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, and honestly even Genesis, Dreamcast. I will go in here real quick. We'll go into Virtua Tennis, and you can see that even Dreamcast, one of your 3D based systems, actually runs very well on this as well. This was a game that I played growing up. Me and my brother would just play the living crap out of this game on our Dreamcast. Dreamcast was really just so ahead of its time. All right, so yeah, as you can see, fills out the whole screen. And this is using the Redream emulator, and I don't think I have it upscaled at all, but the Redream emulator you can upscale. That's the emulator I go with. There's also Flycast, but I don't believe that you can upscale on Flycast. But there are also RetroArch cores for Dreamcast. So yeah, Dreamcast, again, just absolutely fantastic. Game Gear, Neo Geo runs fine. PlayStation. Let's see here. Let's go a little Crash Bandicoot. And if you are wondering what front end I'm using, this is Emulation Station Desktop Edition, ESDE. It is the only front end that I like to use. I do have a couple of devices where I have other front ends, like I have Daijisho on one, I believe. I have Beacon running on one, and that's just so I can have it to show people if they want to see it, or I'm sure I'll have it in one of my reviews, or when I do like a setup for those setup video for those certain front ends, I'll have it on there. But yeah, if I'm an ESDE guy for sure. You could have seen as I'm picking the videos, you can scrape all your box art. There's just so many options when it comes to customizability, and it's just amazing. So again, here on PlayStation, there's just not a single bit of slowdown. Crash Bandicoot is just such a nostalgic game. Oh my gosh. I think the last time I played Crash was on it's actually probably on my Xbox, because they have the trilogy on there. But just actually getting in here and just playing it on the PlayStation, it's like the pixelization and everything is just, it just really takes you back. So yeah, again, PlayStation, absolutely fine. Okay, let's see, PlayStation 2, I'm not really going to show anything. Just like I said, Kingdom Hearts can run. I have no issues with it, but it is a lower demanding game. PSP is actually not too bad. It is PSP is a 16:9 system, so you are going to have black boxes on the top and the bottom. Not a deal breaker though. And I want to say, where do I have this running? I have it at a 3x. I have this one at a 3x rendering resolution. So, yeah, PSP, you cannot go wrong with PSP, especially God of War. So you can see the letterboxing on the top and bottom, but it actually kind of blends in a bit. And yeah, I actually have a save game where I had beaten the game, so we'll go out here and just have Kratos run around a little bit, because if you run up the stairs, you'll actually run into the final boss. Yeah, as you can see, just absolutely smooth. Absolutely smooth. No lag, no nothing. So yeah, don't have to worry about any of that there. So yeah, that is it. That is your RG476H. So, I mean, tell me what you think. I mean, is this one that you'd want to go for? Are you mainly just looking for that retro vibe? Are you looking for a GameCube, PS2, some Nintendo Switch emulation, Wii U, with those ones there? I mean, maybe you're looking for a device like the Odin 2. I mean, this is one that came out last year, but it is still such a hard hitter. This is one of the best devices that has ever been made, and they've made a couple ones after this as well. They have a whole Odin 2 line. They have the Odin 2 Portal, they have the Odin 2 Mini, all with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. So that's going to run everything great. You can upscale PS2 to 2.5, but that's for another time. And we've got devices coming out in the future. We've got the Conquer Pocket Fit that's coming out that I'll have an unboxing and a in-depth review on. So, let me know what you think down in the comments. I would love to hear everybody's thoughts, and this is my first review, so I would definitely love to hear feedback on what you guys think. Sorry about the couple of times that I tripped over some words. Like I said, I don't like to do a whole lot of editing on my videos. The biggest editing will probably be where I was playing some of the games, and I might just cut out a couple of parts so it can go right into the games, and just so I'm not wasting any of your time there. So again, thanks for joining me. And for Retroception, I'm Retro J. Shout out to Goose, to Smash, to X, the Retroception family. And I just want to thank everybody for joining me, and we will see you next time. Keep it retro.